In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I sew on lace with a machine. Doing it with a machine can save you a lot of time and a lot of hours with hand sewing. And doing it with machine, it's a really secure way to attach appliques to a wedding dress or to any formal gown that you're applying very small pieces of lace applique to. The important things that we're going to need in today's video is clear thread. I use monofilament thread. I'm just using a Gutermann clear thread in today's video. At my work, I have a huge spool of it. The big thing that we're going to start with is setting up the machine. So we're going to be talking about releasing the tension, removing the presser foot, and how to thread the machine properly for this technique. I'm going to be showing you guys with a black bobbin thread and contrasting lace and base material. That way you can really see what I'm doing. So we're going to start by removing the thread that's already in the machine. And then I already have the clear thread set up right there. I'm running out of this spool. I have another spool on hand ready. So, and then next we're going to be removing the presser foot with this little screw right there. So for this technique, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do it on my Juki DDL 8700. Once we have unscrewed the screw that holds on the presser foot, you just take that away. I like to thread that down all the way because it does have a tendency to unscrew as you're sewing. So it's hard to see because the thread is clear, but I've went ahead and threaded the machine like I normally would, and we're going to be using a black bobbin thread down here at the bottom so you can see the back side of the fabric, the stitches. The biggest trick that I've learned is taking a regular ballpoint head pin and you slip it in between these two tension discs here, and that releases the tension on the thread. When you sew it without a foot, this tends to get too tight and it won't catch your stitches. So with that needle in there, we're able to pull that thread pretty easily. Even though we do not have a foot, you want to make sure that your foot is in the down position. So this just makes sure that this is at the proper tension that we're going to need for today's video. So we're going to start by preparing our materials. So I'm just using this organza as a base just to kind of show you. And then we're using a small piece of applique. So for this technique, you want to make sure that you pin really securely so these do not float around as you're stitching. So I pin around the perimeter of the applique that I'm sewing on. You want to make sure that you pin all of the points. If your lace does have a lot of points, that's important to have. Alright. Now let's get stitching. And then we're just going to follow the edge of this fabric. It's important to go slow when you're first getting used to it. I can go pretty fast now that I am pretty well accustomed to it. But you just really want to make sure that you tack down these points well. And then, because I'm using a dark contrast thread on the back, you'll be able to see the line of stitches a lot easier. But like I said, we're just keeping tension on this fabric to make sure that it's not going to pull away and that all those threads are going to get caught. And we're just going to do that all the way around. And then if your applique has sequins like the one I'm showing you here, you want to try your best to avoid hitting the sequins. You might break a needle. And this technique is really easy to do on a domestic machine as well, but there is a few different ways that you're going to have to set up your machine, and you can actually do it on a domestic with a presser foot. You just have to pick up a free motion embroidery
pressify. And the thing I like most about this technique is that you can go any direction with it. So we're going backwards, just securing this bottom scallop. And once we get back to where we started here, I'm going to do the same thing I did when I started. Go back and forth a few times just to secure it. And make sure that needle is in a fully upright position. I pull it out just a little bit. We're going to give that a snip. Okay. We're going to remove the pins from our lace. I'm going to show you the back side. So you can see everywhere that we've sewn along, these are the back stitches here. And then with your bobbin, you can use the clear thread in your bobbin. You just have to make sure that your bobbin is at the proper tension. You can see we've just gone around all of the points. It's on there really securely. It's not going to go anywhere. It can pull, it can stretch on the bias in the same way that the fabric is going to.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that that video was informative. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. I use this technique a lot in my custom bridal gowns. If you're interested in ordering a custom bridal gown, feel free to reach out with any of the links in my bio, my Instagram, my TikTok, my website. Everything is listed there. If you have any questions about where to find the materials, more about my machine, how to set it up on a domestic, I can show you that as well. But thanks for watching.